All right, let's talk about one of the most powerful and, let's be honest, sometimes intimidating tools in modern web development, Webpack. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain, demystify this thing, and really show you how it can take your projects from total chaos to complete, beautiful control. So let's dive in.
You know that feeling, right? You start a new project, everything's clean, and then a few weeks later, you're looking at this giant, tangled mess of scripts, style sheets, images, and who knows what else. It can feel like you're losing the battle. Well, trust me, you are not alone. It's a super common problem.
And it's no wonder it gets so complicated. I mean, look at all the awesome stuff we're working with these days. We've got incredible frameworks like React or Vue. We're writing modern JavaScript with TypeScript. We're using advanced styling like Sass. But every single one of these amazing tools adds more files, more complexity. Pretty soon, you're juggling dozens of different files, not even counting all your images and fonts. Sooner or later, you just hit a wall. You're staring at your project folder and you think to yourself, okay, there has to be a better way to manage all this, a way to automate and organize this whole process. And you know what? There is. And that's where Webpack comes in. At its heart, Webpack is a module bundler. Its one big job is to look at all those scattered pieces of your application, all your code, your styles, your images, and intelligently bundle them together into a few neat, optimized files that a web browser can handle like a champ. It's literally the tool that brings order to all that chaos.
Probably the best way to wrap your head around what Webpack does is to picture a factory assembly line, but for your code. You feed in all your raw materials on one end, your JavaScript files, your Sass files, your images, and out the other end comes a perfectly packaged, optimized final product. So, let's pop the hood on this assembly line. We're going to break down exactly how Webpack takes all those raw bits of code and turns them into something polished and ready for the world to see. Okay, so this whole factory metaphor really comes to life with Webpack's 4 core concepts. First up is the entry point. This is basically the front door of the factory, where you tell Webpack, hey, start with this main JavaScript file. Then you've got the output. Super simple. That's the shipping dock where the finished, bundled file gets sent. In between, you have loaders. These are your specialized machines on the assembly line. They take one type of file and transform it, like turning your fancy Sass code into plain old CSS that browsers understand. And finally, you have plugins. Think of these as the inspectors and specialists who do the big jobs, like quality control or optimizing the entire bundle.
So these ideas are great, but how do you actually tell the factory what to build? Well, you give it a blueprint. For Webpack, that blueprint is a file called webpack.config.js. Let's take a look at how this all translates into actual code. And here it is. This might look a little technical, but see how it lines up perfectly with what we just talked about? You've got your entry point pointing to our main file. The output section tells Webpack to create a file called bundle.js. Under module, we've got rules for our loaders. See that? We're telling the Sass loader to handle any file ending in .scss. And down at the bottom, we list our plugins. It's literally the factory blueprint, just written in code. Now, it's super important to know that this factory has 2 different speeds. First, there's development mode. Here, the whole goal is speed and helping you debug. Rebuilds are lightning fast, and you get really detailed error messages when things go wrong. But then there's production mode. This is when you're getting ready to go live. The goal here is pure performance. Webpack will minify your code, optimize everything, and make the files as tiny as possible for your users. You use different modes for different jobs. Okay, so we've covered the what and the how. But the big question is, why? Why do we go through the trouble of setting all this up? What's the real powerhouse payoff at the end of the day? Oh, the benefits are huge. Seriously, you get order from chaos because Webpack understands how all your files depend on each other. You get peak performance from things like tree shaking, which is a cool feature that automatically removes any code you're not actually using. Your workflow gets a massive boost with features like hot module replacement. That means you see changes without even hitting refresh. It also future-proofs your code, turning modern JS into code that older browsers can run. And maybe best of all, you get total control over the whole build process from one single place. And look, if you only remember one thing about the performance gain, let it be this. Instead of a browser needing to fetch, say, 20 different JavaScript files, it might only need to fetch one, just one. That single change can make your website load dramatically faster, which is a game changer for user experience. So you see, Webpack isn't just another tool. It's an enabler. It takes care of all the messy, complicated build stuff so that you can focus on what you're actually trying to build. It gives you structure, speed, and control. So the only question left is, With your code all organized and optimized, what will you build now?